Hi, Karen with you today. Thank you so much for joining me. I have a layout for Scrap the Boys Challenge, and this month of November 2021 is all about flower love. Yep, you guessed it. It's all about putting flowers on your boy layouts. Now, if you've been following me at all, you'll know that this is no stretch for me. I often use flowers on my boy layouts. I do not get fussed in terms of gender. I am all about the creative process, and I'm lucky enough the boys in our family do not mind, and they're not very they're pretty gender neutral as well, so it doesn't bother us that we use flowers on our pages, and I just love it in terms of creative time. So I have gone for using, if you can just see a little bit there at the start, I am using the Cocoa Vanilla Unforgettable collection. I adore this collection. I don't have much left. I actually pretty much used up most of my ephemera doing this particular layout. There is a lot of ephemera on this page as I go through, lots of flowers and butterflies and things like that. So I've decided I'm going to have, as always, a pretty heavily mixed media background, although it is a little subtle at the same time. I'm using some of the pastel colors, but also melding to the pinks and the aquas and the oranges in the collection. So I am going for a circle based layout, as you can see with these circles that I have here. I have some of the cutouts from the ephemera pack, and the brownie toned circles are actually from a hip kit club. Oh my goodness, I can never say that. And a friend of mine bought a few months ago, and I was scrapping with her a few weeks ago, and she didn't think she was going to use these, so she gifted them to me, and I knew exactly that moment what I wanted to do with those. So I'm really thankful for getting those from my friend. So thank you if you're watching. And so I am going for a tone on tone traditionally through this layout. So I'm starting from the top, and I've looked at all the colors within the collection, and each circle will have its own color effectively. So this first lot of paints and inks that I'm using are from Shimmers, and I am using Pink Stiletto in that particular pink that I'm putting down there, and I have just used the packaging technique. And the Unforgettable collection has a little bit of a purpley flower as well as pink flowers, so I really wanted to make this a little bit more purple, so I was able to add in also Creamy's One Hot Mama. It is a very pink, but there is a purple tone to that, so that just really matched the color well. And I just brought the embellishments in just to check on that as I was developing that, and as it was drying as well, to see if I needed to add any more. And I've just smushed that around that section there. I did use a lead pencil and give myself some marks on the page, so I knew exactly where I was going to put the colors, and so it was also to remind me, I guess, where those circles were going to go. And I just grew the color out from the middle, so I wanted to make sure that the paint and the color was just sitting outside of the circle to give it so there was a little bit of air through there. And so I just continued to add through that process. So while the top of the page's paint is drying, I am starting on the bottom, and it's mainly that Mango Tango color. So I went for the orange at the bottom, and I've done that and spread out that colors because that would have turned into a bit of a muddy color if I joined those up in any way. So this color worked so perfectly with the orangey tones from the collection. And again, just bringing up my paintbrush in as well, just to give it a little bit more smush around to the page. I don't want to have too many hard edges, so I do still continue to smush and move the page around as well, just to get that liquid moving around the page so you don't get those really harsh lines. So this section here will ultimately be where I sit the photo. So I am using here Pink Moscato, and also some of the Shimmers Pinko de Mayo, just as a little light pink through that. And that will be the area that I don't actually do tone on tone. That section will feature all of the colors that I'm using on the page, and the remainder of those circles from the top until around the semicircle there will actually be tone on tone. I'm sure it'll make sense when you see this as it's coming together. So I'm gluing the pieces down on the page, and I am using my Nuvo wet glue for this one. I always find with mixed media that it's better to use a liquid adhesive. I have been experimenting a little bit over the last few months with using some Nuvo, and I'm also using the Scotch Tacky Glue as well. So, I do different ones at the time. I haven't really found a favorite at this stage. It is always much cleaner, and it will stick to, particularly when you've gessoed your page, which I don't think I had mentioned. I have gessoed this page prior to turning on the camera, and it is on some white cardstock as well. And I'm using the textured side of the cardstock, that gives us a little bit more feeling across your fingers, etc., when you're touching the page. So you'll see here that what I was saying before about using all of the colors from the collection in that one page with the photos. So this is a photo of Oscar from several years ago, and he's wearing a little bit of an orange shirt. And I felt that's why I could keep this as a color photo, and you can really see his eyes pop as well. And so this part has the green in terms of the pattern paper that I've got there behind, and some of the purple as well. And I've also put that beautiful, beautiful floral ephemera piece there. That just fitted perfectly on the angle of that entire middle section there. So the other circles, all I'm doing now is just adding in some ephemera over onto the sides as a color tone on tone. So some of that purple and those beautiful butterflies as well, just to feature across the page. I also brought in a little bit of the grey from this collection as well, because of those ephemera pieces, and also having some of that grey and that black tone, and also the circle element having that black leaf front. I felt that it needed a little bit more of the grey, blacky sort of colours on the page. And really, this is about it for the layout in terms of it was really... Once the mixed media dried, this came together so beautifully. It was as simple as just grabbing the things that were the same color with that tone on tone, and just adding some dimension to the page. So with the butterflies, I've only glued those down the center so I can lift up those wings and they can really stand off the page beautifully. I did pop a few things up on foam, but I didn't knit with it, particularly in the area where the wreath is on those, because that was flat against the page. Where the other circles they lift off the page because there's quite a bit of dimension there. So I just added some more flowers as I went around the page, and fussy cut out some things as well. Oh my goodness, I love this collection so much. I did add some splatters to each of the sections as well. And I also go through at the end and also put some black splatters around the page as well, just to tie in a little bit more to that black and to ground the page a little bit more as well. So in terms of the challenge this month, we would love it if you joined in this month and got creating and put some flowers on your boy pages. I will leave a link to the blog post, which will give you all the design team's creative inspiration for you to see, and also a link to the Facebook group that we have, where you can share all of your creations. Just to finish off the page, I decided that I wanted to put a border around the page. So it was only a thin border, and can you believe it? I've wasted that whole piece of paper. Now I'm watching that back going, oh my goodness, people are going to say something about that. But I have multiple pieces of this paper, so it didn't really bother me for this time. I have left a thin border around there, and then just with my fingers, I have gone around and distressed the edges just to pop it off to give it a bit of a dimension around the page as well. I love how this layout turned out. I think it might be one of my favorites from the last couple of weeks while I've been creating. I want to thank you as always for joining me. I really appreciate all the comments and the likes, and welcome to my new subscribers. I know I've had a few recently, so welcome. I really appreciate your support, and I will leave you with some close-ups and the final layout. And I hope to see you next month for the next Scrap the Boys challenge. You're going to love that one too. Thanks for joining. Bye for now.